Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Matt. How you doing, man?
Very well. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening. We appreciate that. And, at the end of the last show with Andy Fancher from Fitz News, we forgot to tell everybody to like, share, subscribe, and all that junk.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, that's right. We focused on him.
Focused on him, getting him some social media cred. We forgot about ourselves. But you can follow, if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can hit the little bell thingy to get a notification when a new episode comes out. Please comment under there because we want to know who's listening on YouTube. We can see people on Spotify, like where you're listening from, but it doesn't give us your name or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting. Pretty much all of our European listeners and outside the United States have dropped off in the last 30 days.
I saw that.
But it's cool. We're America first, so we don't really worry about anybody else. So wherever you are in the United States, we thank you for listening. Most of you are from Missouri, which is awesome. Missouri is our favorite state. And you can find us on Facebook as well. Headspace and Tasting Podcast. So that is it.
Yeah, I put a few things on Facebook this week. Put the info out about Andy Fancher.
Okay.
And I did a separate post about the Maker's Mark Pour Some Sugar on Me bourbon that we tasted.
Yeah, that was excellent.
And we tried to do a short for YouTube.
Yeah, we were too long.
Yeah. It has to be 3 minutes or less, and we were 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, well.
Better luck next time.
But I will tell you that little short 4-minute video on YouTube has more views in the last week than anything else we have posted.
Wow. Maybe we need to shut up and do shorter shows.
Or maybe just do shorts on tastings. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we should do that, actually.
Who knows?
So, it's a beautiful day outside in east central Missouri. Nice and rainy and cold. Still some snow hanging on out there, though.
Oh, it's not going to give up.
The little bitty piles that are, it just will not go away. That must be the artificially made snow from the cloud seeding, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, I had to work this morning. My last Saturday shift to work. We do like a half day on Saturdays where we are, and I was the manager on duty. And it was quite a farewell shift today, I'll say that.
Yeah, I bet.
It went by pretty quick because we were busy,
and
which I guess is a good thing. We're busy.
Yeah, and I will say thank you to the Shield for covering the rest of the year on Saturdays.
Sir. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, man. So that'd be nice.
Yeah.
What do you got, Kevin? What are we talking about today? What are we doing?
We're going to talk about the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack.
And I'm not talking about...
Which one? Wasn't there two of them?
There was. Actually, three.
Three? Ooh.
Yeah, if you wanted to mention the one from the 80s.
Oh,
the Brat Pack.
The Brat Pack.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
No, I don't want to either. Which I heard they might be doing a remake of that movie or
like 16 Candles or something?
No. The other one.
The one where they're all in detention?
Yeah. They're going to, I guess, try and redo that movie, but modern day. That's not going to go well. And why ruin a good thing?
Why would they keep doing it, man?
Because Hollywood ran out of ideas.
Jeez Louise. All right.
Anyway, we're going to talk about the Rat Pack. The Rat Pack was a well-known group of men who always hung out together, were performers together, pretty much ruled the day in Las Vegas in the 60s. And this group was headed by a man named Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, he was the alpha dog, right?
Yep. And then other members of his group included Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. And then he had some guys that drifted in and out.
Yeah, like Don Rickles was one of them.
Don Rickles, Kirk Douglas, Robert Wagner, and a few others.
Okay.
But the original Rat Pack, the real Rat Pack, was led by Humphrey Bogart.
Mm.
And he was the one who named it, his group, the Rat Pack.
Yeah, weren't you saying that was more like an official social club
It
type
was.
of situation?
It was. It was a social drinking club. They met at his house. So it was Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, and David Niven, Judy Garland, and Frank Sinatra was part of this group, and there was a couple others that were also there. Humphrey Bogart's home was always open. You wanted to come by his house, you can come by his house. He did not care.
Like, just let yourself in, and
He did not care.
my home is your home, huh?
He kind of made his home the safe space for everyone.
Oh, okay.
So he can come and relax and get away from it all, kind of deal. And he actually formed a group. They actually had positions that you had to get elected into,
That was the,
which I thought that was kind of cool. You know, we're going back into the 40s, the late 40s when this was taking place. And for those of you who don't know Humphrey Bogart, you really need to dig into who this man was as an actor. Some of his best movies: Casablanca, Sahara, The Maltese Falcon, The Big Sleep, The Cane Mutiny, The African Queen. I mean,
yeah, he's done quite a bit.
a lot of good movies. Great actor.
Very critically acclaimed movies, I guess is what it is.
Anyway, so we dug out this for the Rat Pack, and one of the things that they were known for as entertainers was that they loved their alcohol. And we'll talk about that a little bit, but the number one go-to for the Rat Pack, and this goes back to Humphrey Bogart and transitioned over to Frank Sinatra and his group, was Jack Daniels.
Oh, old number 7.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what we're going to drink today.
Okay.
So, Jack Daniels, old number 7, it is 80 proof, so it's on the lowest end of the legal profile for Tennessee whiskey. It is 80% corn, 12% barley, 8% rye. And I just said it's a Tennessee whiskey. One of the requirements, or what are the requirements for to be called a Tennessee whiskey? They're very specific, just like a Kentucky bourbon.
Okay. What is it?
It has to be at least 51% corn. Has to be aged in new charred oak barrels.
Okay.
Their distinction is it has to be filtered through sugar maple charcoal.
That's specific.
Yeah, and this is also known as the Lincoln County process. And in the case of Jack Daniels, their Tennessee whiskey is filtered through a 10-foot high filter of sugar maple charcoal, where it just kind of drips all the way down to the bottom. And then that's when they get enough to fill the barrels to be aged. And they also take a little bit of the previous sour mash from the last batch and mix it in with this one.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of these other companies or bottles that we've tasted do that. But they, Jack Daniels is kind of a rarity in the major manufacturers that they actually distill their own spirit and then age it themselves, which is surprisingly not common.
Yeah.
When you really start digging into the bourbon industry, whiskey industry.
And so, we're here. What do you think of it, Matt?
Well, I was just flipping back through our book here, and we had Silver Star Texas Whiskey was 80 proof. The Wood Hat Red, White, and Blue Corn was also 80, and then the Penelope. Remember the
the Rio,
the
Penelope
16-year-old
Rio
girl version of whiskey. Right. Where'd it go? Yeah, it's just Penelope bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah, that was at 80. So out of those, the Penelope and the Silver Star both got 1 star from me, and Red, White, and Blue Corn was 3.5, which would have been 3. So not the highest ratings of at that proof, because me personally, I like 100 proof and above. So the notes I wrote down on this, of the first sniff I took, first thing that popped in my head was banana taffy, that Laffy Taffy banana flavor, where you're like, this doesn't really taste like bananas.
Well, that was your taste or your smell?
Smell.
Oh.
But as
Oh, that's interesting.
now I'm getting more like a ripe banana peel, like a ripe banana is what I would say.
I'm still not getting the banana, but
Not at all?
I do kind of dig the banana taffy.
Yeah, me too. That's my favorite. That's the only taffy I'll actually eat is the banana flavor, and bananas in quotation because it doesn't taste anything like a banana to me. But that's my favorite. That's the only taffy I eat, that flavor.
And I might throw out some Rat Pack slang today.
Okay.
I dig it.
You dig it.
Ring a ding, man.
So I'm getting some toasted oats a little bit and roasted nuts on the nose.
All right. Kind of like what you went with the banana taffy. I wasn't catching that before, but I like the connection. Because for me, just on the nose, it was just flat out. It was butter and vanilla.
Butter, okay.
And so maybe that's part of that connection. I kind of like that. And then on the palate for me, it was corn, smoke, and dried apples.
Okay. Yeah, corn was number one, but then I wrote banana nut bread. That's kind of what I was tasting. But the smokiness is there from what I would say was like the roasted nuts but the toast, there's definitely some char in there.
Yeah.
My finish, I wrote that it has a little bit of an oily mouthfeel. It coats my mouth pretty much completely, and it clings on, just stays there. Very smooth, slightly woody, and like charcoal, like when you smell charcoal. That's what it tastes like. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's what I got.
Something similar for me. It hangs out, certainly. It doesn't seem to go away right away. But on the very back of the tongue, it's like I'm chewing on a cigarette.
Gross.
Maybe not chewing on. No, it's like wet. It's a cigarette I have in my mouth and I haven't inhaled yet.
Like the filter, like a fresh filter.
Not the filter, the tobacco itself.
Tobacco?
Like if I was if I was smoking an unfiltered Camel cigarette.
Oh, I've never had that pleasure, but
My dad, that's all he smoked was unfiltered.
I probably smoked like 4 cigarettes my whole entire life. But I guess that tobacco essence.
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah.
But not just tobacco, it's cigarettes.
Very specifically. Oh, okay.
Specific to a cigarette.
Huh. All right. So like we said, 80 proof, color, light honey, I would say, to this. It's not really a super dark, but, in the glass, it's a little bit lighter than honey, straw colored.
I kind of put it a little golden.
Golden? Okay.
Yeah. Like right up towards the gold level, above the honey, but not quite crossing that line.
Oh, I had it sitting on a white piece of paper. Maybe that's why. Okay.
So yeah,
stick around to the end of the show to see how we rate it.
Sure. So we got the number 7 label.
Yeah.
For Jack Daniels.
What does that mean? Old number 7.
Well, no one really knows, and
there's a lot of folklore around it, right?
There is, and Jack Daniels, the company, always comes out in a press statement saying they really have no idea. I kind of think they do it on purpose.
To keep the mystery?
Yes. Adds to it a little bit.
But didn't we read somewhere else that it was the patent number 7?
Well, there are five theories that I found.
Okay.
Searching for it. One of them is it was his way of remembering the 7 lovers in his life. That was the first one. That was like the most prominent.
Only 7?
Well, the 7, I guess he wanted to remember.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. The other one was that this was recipe number 7.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. The other one is it was the original tax ID from the early 1800s.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
It's also known that it was a possibility that it was shipment number 7, where, this truck carrying all the barrels, or the wagon or whatever, carrying all the barrels, they would paint or mark the barrel heads with a specific number. Okay. And then so number 7 went to this certain location, and then the people that were there kept ordering number 7. We want number 7.
I see.
And then the other one is the same thing with the trains, because they also transported a lot of their whiskey by train.
So train number 7.
It was train number 7.
Huh. All right.
So I don't know. I lean towards the fact that it was the original tax ID.
Yeah, that's the one I've heard the most.
But you know what? That's an easy thing to find, I would suspect.
Yeah,
And
you should be able to look up the documentation on that.
right. I'm sure they have it, but they're not going to tell us on purpose, only because they want to keep people happy.
Yeah, I guess if you went on a distillery tour, they probably give you all of those 5 that you just listed. Nobody knows what,
Right.
what Jack said, but
Right. So we're talking about the Rat Pack.
yeah.
And
Yeah, what's the significance? So you said this is the both iterations of Rat Pack. This was a staple.
it was Jack Daniels was everywhere they went.
And there was some others, but it was like
J&B.
J&B, that was the other one.
J&B. I actually was at the store. I didn't see J&B anywhere. They still have it. You can still get it.
Yeah.
It's a Scotch whiskey, I think.
Huh.
I don't know that it's an American whiskey.
Or is it
I forgot.
Canadian? Was it Canadian whiskey, maybe?
I don't remember.
Huh.
I didn't do any research on it. But it was Jack Daniels and J&B. But Jack Daniels was their number one. But if you really want to know who the Rat Pack was, without having to look up YouTube videos and see some stupid acts in Las Vegas or something like that, where you get some snippets, where can you find them best? And it was the original movie back in 1960 called Ocean's 11.
Oh, yeah.
Now, everybody knows Ocean's 11,
Sure.
the modern version, but it's a remake just like everything else. And the original back in 1960 had every member of the Rat Pack in it. And it was the same story. They're all in Vegas. They're going to rob the casino, and they're going to get the money to whoever's supposed to get it. I don't remember the backstory completely on it.
Yeah.
It is a good movie though, and how they end up with no money. So that part is really good. So if you really want to know who they are, get to know the actors. That's it. And the Rat Pack. So you had Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was a singer and an actor, performer. You had Sammy Davis Jr. He was a singer. And you had Dean Martin, who was best known as an actor, but he was also a singer. Peter Lawford was an actor, nothing but. And then Joey Bishop was an all-around entertainer at the time. So, and those were the groups. So I bring all this up because what sparked my interest was I've recently read a book called The Way You Wear Your Hat by Bill Zehme, or Zem. It's Zehme. And it's Frank Sinatra and the Lost Art of Living. And what intrigued me about it, it's not a biography, but it's very biographical. And at the same time, the Lost Art of Living, I'm thinking, let's read about it, get some words of wisdom on how a man should live his life. Maybe there's something I can transition to today. What I learned is just about everything that they had in the book, I don't want to do today.
Isn't there a chapter called Broads or Dames or something like
I
that?
think so. And you had a story you come up with. What was the story that you told me about that he ran into going outside the club?
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
So it was Mike Birbiglia. He's a comedian writer. He told a story about his aunt who's in Buffalo, New York. And he was talking to her one day and asked her if she'd ever gone to concerts as a kid or seen. And she said, oh, yeah. I was a big Frank Sinatra fan. And so he came to Buffalo, and me and her and her friend went to go see the show. And after the show, they went running out the front doors around to the alleyway where the stage doors was, and his car was there. And so they're all waiting for Frank to come out. And then there he is, and everybody's going crazy. Frank, we love you, we love you. And he looked over at him and said, get out of my way, you fat pigs. And then got in his car and drove on.
Well, there you go. That's the Lost Art of Living in a nutshell.
Get out of my way, you fat pig.
What I learned about Frank Sinatra reading this book is, one, he was very loyal to his friends and close associates, and especially the men in his group. But at the same time, he was a massive prima donna.
Yeah.
Just all over the place. And that's a good story. I mean, because that's a lot of what was going on. I get it. It's also a sign of the time, you know. I'm not going to play armchair quarterback and say this is not how you do things.
Yeah.
But at the time, I mean, that kind of thing, it was a male-dominated society.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, some teenage girls getting in the way when you just did a show in Buffalo, New York, which is not the most glamorous place in the world. Probably had a plane to catch so he could get to Vegas or New York City, wherever. And, you know, the quickest way to get people's attention is just to be as direct as possible.
Yeah. And the book opened up with a short quote from Tennyson. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shining use. And we've talked about this so many times.
We have.
Don't sit on your ass.
Yep.
You
Do
need
something.
Yeah. Get out there and find your spot in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I'm going to go with question number 1 that came out of the book, and that was, how stiff should a drink be?
Okay.
And he said, nice and easy. You don't have to beat yourself up. Why be a hero for what? Now, you and I are both on the same page. We like to drink our bourbons neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, we might put a little dollop of water or ice to change the flavor a little bit to see how it's going to expand on the profile.
Yeah.
But he literally was disgusted by anyone who drank bourbon or whiskey neat. Couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Probably came from his relationship with his father, I would guess.
Or he was just a weak person.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he just couldn't handle it because he was a smaller guy. Maybe he just got too sloppy drunk if he drank it neat, maybe.
Probably.
And that's a sign of discipline.
But I mean, he was not a drinker until he met Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason, we all know Jackie Gleason from Smoking the Bandit, playing the sheriff.
Yeah, what was his famous Honeymooners? That was the famous show, right?
Yeah, the TV show.
Yeah.
But Jackie Gleason was a devout Jack Daniels drinker. And he taught Frank Sinatra how to drink Jack Daniels.
Wow, okay.
Back in the early days. And we're going to actually do what Frank Sinatra did the way he did his drink. If you want to get it started, Matt, I'll kind of describe it a little bit. So it was always a rocks glass, never anything else. And it required 3 ice cubes.
And these are kind of small ice cubes, but do you want to go with more than 3 with these size?
No, we can do the 3.
There's 3.
He always did 3 ice cubes, and then it was, and you can never use your fingers for the ice. You had to use tongs. He thought it was not classy.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys constantly had cigarettes in their hands, and imagine their
yeah. So 3 ice cubes. Then it was 2 fingers of Jack in the rocks glass.
Oh, you need a little bit more.
Yep. Sorry, I was drinking through it while we were talking. 2 fingers of Jack, and then the rest was water. And that's how every single one was.
And what is a finger? Explain to everybody. The rest is water?
Yes.
This is like blasphemy to me.
Exactly. I'm already looking at it and being disgusted.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why they drank so much of it.
Probably.
Because Frank Sinatra hated water. He did not drink water by itself, ever. And if somebody brought him water, he would yell at the waiter, get that stuff away from him.
Oh, man.
And he was also, at the same time, even though it was Jack and water, he was also a purist. He did not believe in drinking Coke, Jack and Coke. Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola. And
how did he drink his Coca-Cola?
As Coca-Cola.
But it's flat, right? He didn't drink it.
It was flat, no carbonation.
No carbonation.
He liked the syrup, I guess.
I think we should add more ice in here. Not just 3. But cheers, buddy.
All right. So
one of the other rules, though, is you should always have a toast, right?
Yes.
So you want to give a toast?
That's just gross.
What the heck, dude? What is wrong with this guy?
It's flavored water.
That's what it is. It tastes like
Maybe we put too much water in it. Or maybe the ice cubes were too small, like you said.
yeah. I was thinking maybe more ice.
Big rocks.
Because it was like that was like a 6-to-1 ratio of water to whiskey.
Yeah, because he believed that when you were served your drink, you never drank it immediately. You allowed it to sit and let the ice melt a little bit and blend in with the whiskey. And then he also always wanted leaded glass or,
Leaded.
real glassware that allowed the ice to tinkle or make that clink.
Oh, like a crystal? Would it be like
Yes.
a real crystal glass or something?
Yeah, which is lead.
Oh, lead crystal. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that was his big thing, that he would always go around and buy whatever he can get on it. Yeah,
I'm pouring half of mine out
I
and
need
then add more whiskey.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. While you pour yours out, and I kind of do the same with mine. He had some other drinking rules. One of them was with martinis. He also liked martinis.
Which you and I are a fan of martinis as well.
I have never had a martini.
Are you serious? I thought you did.
No, never have. Not yet, anyway.
I like vodka martinis.
His thing with martinis was you only drank a martini before dinner.
Okay.
You never drank one during or after.
Okay.
And no more than 2 martinis total is his rule on that.
This is just wrong.
And that's probably why they were able to go through bottles of it at a time. You just never know you're drinking so much.
Well, yeah, for somebody who doesn't drink water plain, he's hydrating while he's dehydrating himself, so you kind of stay even, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's nutty.
I find it really hard to believe that he didn't drink plain water, like after a show or like to warm his vocal cords up or
Never
anything.
did. Nope.
That's wild.
It was always what you are drinking right now is what they were handing them.
So I remixed it.
Still not enough ice,
No,
probably.
it's not as gross as it was before.
Yeah.
It tastes like
It's like drinking tea.
you let ginger ale and ice sit for too long and all the ice melted. Kind of tastes like that, like flat, watered down ginger ale, which I guess this was just flat, watered down Jack Daniels. Okay, so
Now, one of the weird things about him and his tongs with ice, you always use your tongs, never your fingers, to put the ice in the glass.
yeah,
However, he would always put his fingers in his glass and take an ice cube out and give it to somebody else.
that's very bizarre.
He always did that. And it was like a sign of you're with me. You're part of me kind of deal.
They should just kiss each other on the mouth.
I guess. And it was the same with his martinis, because his martinis always 2 olives.
So he would take an olive out and give it to the next guy.
Yes, he would. He would take an olive off his toothpick and drop it in somebody else's martini.
And that's you've been marked
Yeah,
as
kind
one
of.
of us.
Yeah,
type of
I mean,
thing.
that was his thing.
Huh. I'd be pretty upset if somebody did.
I'm just saying, it's
What
just
is wrong with you, man?
it's weird rituals, but this is kind of what set him apart from others and how people constantly flock to him.
Yeah, thinking about we all have our own little quirks, and some of them are endearing, some of them are annoying or disgusting. I guess it's the intent behind it, maybe. If people were like, if this was some random dude who stuck his hand down inside his glass and threw one of his ice cubes in mine, I'd punch him in the face. But it's Frank Sinatra, and I want to be his friend, and he means it as a sign of endearment. I guess it's okay. It's better than blood brothers, like cutting your fingers and touching them together or something.
Right? Much better.
Which we used to do that as kids, like poke our fingers and say, "Oh, we're blood brothers now."
Put some real ice in here.
Yeah, I need to get more ice. I think more ice and less water, more whiskey.
You were going to say something. You were going to say something about 2 fingers of whiskey. What is 2 fingers?
Yeah, 2 fingers is 2 ounces, roughly, right? Depending on your finger girth. So it's kind of like 1 ounce per finger is the rule of.
Yeah, I've actually tested that with my fingers on a glass, and it's more like 3 ounces.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, mine are definitely not 2 ounces.
But if someone's going to say, I'll give you some, and I'll give you 2 fingers, I'm putting my fingers
Heck
up
yeah.
there.
Use these bad boys. Don't put your dainty little fingers on there.
All right, so I redid mine. It actually has a little bit of color now. It doesn't look like tea so much.
But didn't you say that he would reject it if it was too dark, right? He would yell at the bartender that it's too dark. It needs to be lighter.
He could actually tell. Every now and then, if he was at a place that was not his usual haunt, bartender knew he was serving Frank Sinatra. So as a way to get, in closer to Frank as a bartender, he would add a little extra whiskey than you normally would.
Yeah.
But he can pick it out right away, and he would actually just spit it back in the glass and send it back.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate that.
And tell him not to doctor it up. So yeah, some goofiness with it. I know. Yeah. What are you pointing at, Matt?
So the bottle is struggling to keep up with us apparently. So this is only 80 proof, and we are making these mixtures with water, and now I'm looking down at it like, how the hell is half the bottle gone?
Right. And you can't tell.
No, not at all.
And I will tell you, so because your ice cubes are maybe an inch.
Yeah.
I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I added 10 ice cubes, and then the whiskey and the water, and at least I can taste it a little bit now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd rather just.
I'll tell you what. If I was sitting by a pool in Palm Springs, with some dames in bikinis and.
Which he had a house in Palm Springs.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. And sitting poolside, enjoying the day, just relaxing. I could see drinking this.
Yeah, this is better.
This is like not a glass of sweet tea or iced tea, or I would drink this over a soda, like a Coke.
Yeah,
I think on ice.
You would have to be very specific with the bartender if you're at a resort or something like that in order to do it right.
And I could see even add like a lime wedge to it or something. Squeeze a little bit of lime in there. That'd probably be pretty good. But as of right now, I don't know, man.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes. So he had several questions throughout the book, and there were a bunch, but I pulled out some that really appealed more to us and to our show. And so the next one was, how do you know when you have found a friend for life? And while you think about that, Matt, his answer was, you bypass the acquaintanceship stage immediately. Either your currents are different and the chemistry isn't there, or else you're hooked and you're a friend immediately.
I agree. It's what the kids could nowadays call vibes. Like you can just tell. Kind of like when it's like dating your future wife. Like when me and Caitlin went on our first date, I was like, oh man, I just met the woman I want to marry, I think. I'm going to have to marry this woman one day. And I wasn't ready yet, but I could tell. And that's not a slight. Caitlin knows what I'm talking about. But for everybody else, we had a little bit of a rough start, okay? Because I was very immature is not the word. I was wrestling against and fighting fully against the path I should have been on. So I was like, dang, I could fall in love with this woman. I better sabotage this relationship as quickly as I can. But like our friendship, Kevin, started out as a work relationship. But I could tell, like, there's something, like, this dude's cool. We very quickly went to a friend stage. And then now it's like, I can't imagine us not being friends.
Yeah.
Ever. We definitely butt heads, but we have different opinions about a lot of stuff. We have different points of view and all that, right. But that's what I appreciate in my friends.
I kind of like what you said about this different points of view and different opinions. And this is where I think many of the younger generations are missing out. I wouldn't even say younger, because you see it all the time now on social media where everyone is just taking such a hard position on something.
Everybody has their tribe that they're sticking with.
You are missing out, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. You have to have some, not that you should force diversity in your friends, like, oh, we don't have a girl in our group. We'd better find a girl to be a part of our group to hang out. No, it's just don't fight against, like, you should invite differing opinions and difference, because that's how you're going to grow.
And there's a lot of things that you have in common, but there might be one thing you don't.
Yeah.
You know what?
You're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Give them a break. You know, have a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
You know,
you're probably not all that great.
Your friendships will probably be better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I know that, you know, I'll probably refer to my best friend, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
He's been my best friend since college, our sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
And I'll probably reference him a couple times, more than once throughout the evening here. You know, I remember when right in the heat of, well, the early days of Iraqi freedom, we both came off active duty from the Army at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got out, I knew I was out.
Yeah.
I was going to make it on the civilian side. He got out and tried a few things and really didn't like it. And he ended up going back on active duty.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and ended up retiring from the Army. But in those early days, and right when Iraqi freedom was kicking off, you know, we went 4 years, almost 4 years before we actually physically saw each other again.
Yeah.
But when we did, it was like we just saw each other last week.
Yeah. And we talked about this when your friend, when Dave was on, and then my buddy Dave, my friend Dave, when he came back, it was like, dude, I was gone for 18 years out of Missouri, and we would see each other when I came back, you know, every few years, and it was like we're still in 8th grade, best buddies. You know, it's like we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And so that's you know, when you first meet somebody, you know, like, this is somebody that's interesting and I want to hang out with, and you can have hard conversations with. And just because that person challenges you and doesn't mean you can't be friends with them.
No.
In fact, you should welcome that.
I will say that the older we get, the harder it is to find a friend.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
So don't waste your time thinking, oh, someday I'll find a friend, or he's not the right man in my life, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You really need to, you need to put an effort out there and find somebody if you don't have a really close friend.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as we get older, we're set in our ways, or we have certain responsibilities we have to fulfill. You know, we have families.
Yeah.
You're about to have, you know, another youngin' with you. I mean, that changes so many things, the dynamics of what we do, even in our relationship.
Sure.
Right now. Yeah, we work together every day, and we're friends outside of work. But when that second young kid comes along, your son, it's going to be, it'll change things.
Things are going to get weird.
Yeah. And that's normal.
Yes.
So, you know, and you have to be cognizant of those things. Because I also believe that there's such a thing as friends for seasons. I've had so many friends over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's amazing how certain guys come into your life and they have an impact in the environment you're in, or the experience you're going through, you know, tough times, whatever. There's always somebody there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get healthy or something happens, and then...
Yeah, your paths kind of just spread out.
Yeah.
You know, they're on their path, you're on yours, and that's just the way things are.
Like, I have another friend of mine, his name's Eric. We used to be co-workers together, and we became friends as well. And we always hung out together, did things together, and all of a sudden, within a single 2-month period, he became a grandfather 4 times. Like, all his kids had babies within a month of each other.
Wow.
And now, a year later, they all had babies again.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's got like 6 grandkids, same age as us, and he is all wrapped up in them. So I hardly ever see him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the way it is, and I hold nothing against that.
Yeah, if you're getting butthurt over something like that, like, dude, you need to do some self-reflection, because we should all understand. We all have our own individual thing. And that's part of being a friend, is knowing when to back off a little bit too. Give your buddy some space. That's important.
Yep.
Like the other day, you asked me to go to after work, to go to the place with you, and I needed to come home. It was just like, I need to go be with the wife and kids. I need, and that was it.
And I
was
made
like,
fun of you.
Yeah, but I was just like, no, I need to go home, man. Maybe next time. And it's not like you're going to resent me for weeks after that, and I have to come to you and say, oh, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with our friendship?
Right. I'm not a woman.
Right. I didn't want to say that.
Did I say that out loud? Maybe the half bottle of bourbon's catching up. Or, I'm sorry, whiskey. Anyway, this is where it's important that you have a close group. 1, 2, maybe 3 guys that are always with you all the time. This was the Rat Pack.
So I was at a hockey game a couple months back, and I saw this group of dudes go by, and it was like 11 guys. And they're just, you could tell they're all going to sit together, and they were all friends. And I turned to Caitlin, and I was like, I cannot imagine having a group of friends that I went to hang out with 10 other dudes. Like, I just can't, that's not in my capacity to understand how that can happen. I don't get it. That's too much testosterone, ego, whatever, personalities. Like, how can they all get along with each other? I don't get it.
Well, that brings up a good point.
That's too many to me. So to me, it would be like 2 buddies, like me and 2 friends. Mm-hmm. So 3 of us, or maybe if we're getting crazy, 4 guys.
What's the verse out of the Bible? Is iron? Let's see. Was it iron sharpens iron?
Yeah, 1 man,
2 men, but 3 chords are unbreakable, something like that.
No. Let me look it up.
3 strings, 3 chords are hard to break.
Let's see if I can get the whole verse. It's Proverbs 27:17. What the? I don't. All it says is, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That's in the New International Version. Let me see what King James says, though.
Look up the 3 chords. It is. Hear that? This is what Frank Sinatra would do all night long. He loved that noise.
Just tinkle, clinkle, clinkle.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 4:12. A rope. Let's see. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a 3-strand cord is not quickly broken.
There you go. So if you're going to follow biblical principles, 3 friends are ultimately better than 2.
That's very wise. Obviously, it's from the Bible. It's wise, but
isn't it how we do patrolling techniques?
Practically speaking, yeah. So you could have
the triangle. If
one guy says, "I think this is a great idea. We should do this," another guy says, "No, we should do this." The third guy he's the one who he's like, "Okay, I'm going to go this way. Majority rules. Let's go." Yeah, 3 heads are better than 2. 2 heads are better than 1.
Yeah, but in patrolling, isn't that a thing? Like when you're setting up a defensive position, you have 3 guys.
Yeah, you can
in the little triangle,
diamond. Yeah,
you put your feet together.
Yeah,
so you can talk with your feet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Tight defensive perimeter.
Anyway, so next question.
Okay.
What's the rule for covering for a friend? Frank Sinatra said, "Never rat on a rat." But that was not a Frank Sinatra quote. That was actually Humphrey Bogart words of wisdom that he gave to Frank Sinatra. And that just stuck with him, and he used it the rest of his life. Never rat on a rat.
So this is a tough one. I would say it depends on what it is. Like, how good of a friend do I have to be with somebody to where I would go to prison for, like is that what we're talking about? Criminal offenses, or are we talking about,
That's a good point.
Letting your butt hang out on a Friday night? Where's the line? I would say I am not going to be close friends with somebody who is going to force me to cover for them something that's going to violate my own morals and ethics.
Your code.
Yeah. So we probably wouldn't be friends in the first place.
A body in a trunk.
We all have our own morals and ethics that we live by. And it depends.
Yeah. I mean, just on the surface.
I wouldn't
Friends will stick up for one another.
Yeah, but never say never, man. Never rat on a rat. Like, never? Really? If the FBI knocks on your door and says, we want you to come with us, we have some questions about your friend.
So, wait a minute. So, if you have a close friend,
yeah.
Let's talk you and me, Matt.
All right.
I suddenly call you up at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday.
PM or AM?
PM.
Oh.
I'm sorry, 1800.
Okay.
And I say, Matt, if someone calls you, you and I just got done hanging out together at Chili's, and we ate cheese fries while we just kind of chatted.
Mm-hmm.
Would you cover for me if that person called? Would you say, oh, yeah, I just left. He and I were hanging out at Chili's.
Who's calling me?
Doesn't matter. It has no bearing on the question.
I don't think we should be recording this conversation. That's what I'll say. I'll plead the fifth.
Okay. All right. On the flip side,
here's what I will say. I don't talk to cops. Period.
If it wasn't a cop.
If it wasn't a cop?
Yeah. I'll take the cops out.
Yeah, so if a cop calls me, I would say...
I don't even know who he is.
I would say I have nothing to say to you and hang up. If it's your wife calling, that's another story. But you would never put me in a position to where I had to lie to your wife.
Well, we would hope.
To cover your butt.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't.
Right.
You wouldn't be my friend if I thought you would do that.
Right.
So that's kind of like, it's a weird catch-22. Like, but if you were like, hey, man, I need your help with something, meet me at this place, I'd be like, all right, I'll see you there. Well, and then if I show up and I'm like, wow, I could get the electric chair for this, I'm leaving. But again, if you were that type of person, we wouldn't be friends.
Exactly.
So
we would figure that out well before something like that was going on.
It's a moot point. It's kind of, I don't think I would get a call from you saying, I need you to cover for me. Say we were out.
But there is a thing to say that you would be there in the darkness.
For sure. If you were said, Matt, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
There's something like I really need to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm there, brother.
Because I mentioned it before, like if you go back to one of our previous episodes in which I gave my cancer story, there was a period of time where the pain I was experiencing was so bad. I actually thought about, using a gun on myself.
Yeah.
And I called my best friend, Dave, and said, Dave, I need you over here right now. Come get my guns. Mm-hmm. And he was over at my house shortly and took all the guns out of my house.
Yeah.
That, to me, is one of the most important things that a true friend can do, is to take care of you.
Yeah, that's the very definition of being there for your friends.
Yeah. But you have to, at the same time, humble yourself enough to ask for help.
Right.
And this is, to me, this is the decision maker when it comes to people who commit suicide, is you can either do it, like you mentioned a couple weeks ago, I was tossing around the gun in my hand. Mm-hmm. right? Playing around with it. At the same time,
Hold on.
you made a phone call.
I don't play with firearms, Kevin. I was holding it in my hand.
But you made a phone call.
Yes, right.
Where you could have just done it.
Yeah.
And this is that one time where, hey, I know that there is somebody there that if I make a phone call, that person's going to take care of me.
Yeah, thank God. Like, thank God my ex-wife didn't just say, "Go ahead and do it, you idiot. Don't call me." And, she could have easily said that, but she didn't. So thank God for that. And I am thankful to this day for her. And I wish I had somebody else I could have called, besides my soon-to-be ex-wife. I would have loved to call a buddy of mine. That would have been great. Somebody I trusted that could have been there. But I didn't have that in my life at that time. There's also the other side of it, too, as a friend. If you see your friend struggling, you should love them enough to say something about it. Like,
yes.
Dude, you're not acting normal. There's something off. What is it? Let's sit down.
What's the matter?
Yeah. What is the matter? Let's talk it out. And that's a very loving thing to do.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up the next question. Can a friend ask too much of another friend? Frank Sinatra's answer was, a friend is never an imposition.
Right. Yeah, you could always ask. The answer might not be what you want.
Or you don't even have to ask.
Or sometimes you don't have to ask. But it's the same thing. Like, can you ask too much of a friend? I'd say no. Because if you do ask too much, then that guy's probably not your friend.
Yeah. I remember a night where I was at the Rack House. I had rented out the private space in the back, had a big party, because it was me and Gail's 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
So we redid our vows, and we had a big celebration. Everybody's hanging out there. And at the end of the night, I had to pay the bill. And I went and paid the bill, and I went, ooh, I'm $900 short. Oh. And Dave is standing next to me when I went to do it, and he goes, I got you. And he just whipped out $900 in cash. Boom, done.
Dang, baller.
And that, to me, was, again, a clear example.
Yeah, and I bet he didn't lose a wink of sleep over
he
that
didn't,
night.
because he knew I was going to give him back the $900 the next day.
And even if you didn't, it probably wouldn't have hurt his feelings.
Probably not. No. So that is just one of those extreme examples. Another one is we had a tornado. I mean, it was 10 years. We get tornadoes all the time, but there was one maybe 10 years ago that went across, and the winds were enough to take down a tree or two of Dave's house. Mm-hmm. And he called me up and said, I got trees down, and I said, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. And I looked at my boss, because I was at work. I looked at my boss and said, I need to leave. I need to go help out some tornado damage. And he said, no problem, take off. And I went home, got my own chainsaw, and met Dave at his house and helped, cut up the tree that was laying over a fence, and, help clean up. That's what friends do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friends don't go, oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. That's not a friend.
Let me get you the number to a good tree company that can come do that for you.
Right.
And cost.
A friend is someone who says, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll be over in a little bit and help you clean up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a friend.
Right.
So, those are some of the things that came up that I was thinking about on that. I will tell you that I do believe there is a time when being a friend is an imposition.
Yeah, if there's no give and take. Like if
well,
there's
I don't
no
think that.
Do you think there needs to be reciprocation?
No. I don't. If I'm a real friend and you're always in a problem,
you never owe me anything.
Right. I don't owe you anything.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
However, I will tell you that if you want a pickup truck, I will limit the request to ask you to help me do something because you own a pickup truck.
Yeah.
because that is the one thing I do know throughout life.
Yeah.
Any guy who owns a pickup truck, they're like, I am so tired of helping people because I own a friggin' pickup truck.
That's why I went from an F-250 to a Ford Ranger.
I mean, I remember, like we laughed because you mentioned a few shows ago about when you came out to the tree farm at Christmas to get the Christmas tree.
I was happy to do. It was fun.
Yeah. And at the same time, I put the tree in your truck on the bed of your truck. I'm like, dude, the thing don't even fit.
Yeah.
It's not a truck.
Why don't you go put it in your passport, man? Or
Right.
Honda, whatever your Honda Pilot.
It's a trunk without a lid.
Yeah. That way, nobody's asking me to move their house.
That was the same thing with Dave. Dave said, yeah, I'll help you with the mattresses you bought at Costco. So he shows up. we get the two mattresses, and we put them on the bed of his pickup truck. Well, they're 3/4 of the way out from the tailgate. Like, what the?
Did he drive a Toyota Tacoma or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, are we even going to be able to get to my house? He goes, oh, yeah, I'll strap them in. Okay.
You'd be better off with an El Camino.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm happy to help, but yeah. Here's what I'll bring up. I don't mind like going with you to help pick up a Christmas tree and move it or whatever you need my truck for. Dude, I'd just give you the keys and you go do it. But like when you make fun of my little truck, then I'm always going to bring up the fact that you needed me to haul your Christmas tree.
I had a friend of mine who had a pickup truck. It was a full size. Mm-hmm. This is back when I was doing scrap metal to make up some extra money after I lost my job. And he said, anytime you want to use it, just come get the keys. Just put, gas back in it.
Yeah.
It's okay. And he always had it parked in a church parking lot. And I borrowed it once a week. And every time I used it, I put gas in it, that kind of thing. After about the 4th time, he said to me, he goes, I would have appreciated the fact if you would have just filled up the gas tank in the truck. And I said, well, when you gave it to me, it had a 1/4 tank. Mm-hmm. And I gave you a 1/4 tank back. And at that point, I quit using this truck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, am I renting this from you? Or you let me borrow it?
Yeah.
And there's wear and tear, oil changes and all that kind of stuff. But, dude, if you're going to let somebody borrow your truck, just let them borrow your truck and shut the hell up about it.
Yeah.
And
I did make enough money to where I was able to buy my own trailer. And I just pulled up behind my minivan at that point. I didn't need the truck anymore. Yeah. I would have preferred to keep using it. But when he made that comment, I was like, okay, I'm done.
That kind of damages the relationship a little bit, And it makes you feel like, oh, you were happy to let me borrow it. Like, were you expecting me to give you free, like, fill up the gas tank every time? And, yeah, you should, if a guy's a friend, you should have no expectations besides he's my friend. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Like, it's like loaning money to a family member. Like, if you give somebody, your friend or a family member, if they need money for like groceries or something and you're expecting that money back, like, dude, to me, I'm like, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, you need to really do some soul searching on your motives.
Yeah. And I hesitated to say that because I don't want to feel like, say I'm, this altruistic being that I'm just like better than everybody. But money to me is like, it comes and goes, man. I've had a lot of money. I've had no money. I've had enough to pay my bills, but nothing else. Like everywhere in between. And I've had to ask people for help sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when they say, "No, this is a gift. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about paying me back." Like, seriously, this is a gift. I don't loan money. So I have that same. If somebody truly needs it, I'm not a loan shark, man. You don't owe me anything. I love you. Go buy some groceries. Have a great day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
And I'm not going to go look in your pantry to see what type of food you're buying either. Because I know people who would do that.
The level of the relationship that Dave and I have, and I haven't talked to him in 4 months.
Yeah.
5 months. Maybe we shoot a text to each other every now and then.
Still best friends, though.
Yep.
You know?
And we both have a motto. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. And you know what?
Except wives, right?
Yeah. We don't leave keys at the door when we go in. And I really believe that is true.
Yeah.
I really do. And if you can find a friend, young men, that you can live up to that concept, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine, then you have a friend for life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, even with, like, say you have like little rough patches with your friends, like sometimes you'll, they get on your nerves or something happens, but you're still friends, man. You
always come back.
You can't throw away like a 30-year friendship over something stupid.
Right. Right.
That's why you have to choose your friends wisely. People that you trust. You can't give trust too easily. That's something I learned along the way, where I was always like, I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah.
And I had to adopt kind of a hybrid strategy, right? Where then I was like, well, I'm not trusting anybody, period. And that's very lonely. You can't do that.
Yeah, you're not the president.
Right. Trust nobody. But then there's that trust but verify thing. Like, okay, I'm going to trust you, but I'm going to keep an eye on you. I don't know, man. I go by the original, like we were talking about, how do you know you have a friend for life? Like, there are certain people that I'm willing to take a risk on, to risk my trust. And there's other people where I'm like, I'm going to hold back on my trust a little bit until I get a little bit more evidence, type of thing, And it's just a gut feeling or based off of things I see, I can, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but, say we're hanging out in a social situation, I'm watching, man. I'm going to see how good of a tipper you are, how you treat the waiter or waitress. Do you wash your hands after we go to the bathroom? Those are kind of things that are, how do you, if somebody bumps into you accidentally, how do you react to that? That's kind of the things I watch. Observant. That's what it is. I'm observant.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter my age. I'm 56. And if you and I were out together, and you just mentioned, you or the other stranger accidentally bump into each other. Mm-hmm. And if that stranger reacts in such a way that's like, really? I got something for you, kind of deal, I'm right there next to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take that guy down as best as I could do it. And all his friends.
Yeah, if there's like a fight breaks out, I'm like, battle. Yes. Let's do this. That would be fun. But I'm not starting anything. And if it's just me and somebody bumps into me, I'm like, oh, hey, no big deal, man. Don't worry about it. Right. And even if they don't apologize, I don't care. I'm not not going to start throwing fists with somebody because they step on my shoe. I don't care.
You mentioned earlier in the show, and we didn't do it, was the toast.
Oh, yeah.
So that was another thing with Frank Sinatra. Every time you had a gathering, there was a toast, and it was required. There better be a freaking toast that took place.
So was one of the positions in the Rat Pack a Toastmaster?
No.
The one? Everybody had to be ready.
Yeah. And it didn't matter what the toast was as long as someone did a toast.
Okay.
So I'll put the pressure on you, Matt.
Oh.
Do you have a toast?
I don't have any.
No, I want to hear a toast right now.
Okay. Here's to all of our listeners. God bless them all. We love them, and we hope you stick around.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. Got to couple of my little bitty tiny ice cubes in that one.
Know what we're going to say about toasting?
Well, there's a bar in Savannah down by the river. And down by the river. But if you've ever been to Savannah, there's the row of restaurants, bars, shops that's right on the river there. I think it's actually called River Street, maybe. I don't know. But there's a bar there, and I think it's every Tuesday. They have that's their toast night. Like everybody in the bar, they give these big memorized grand toasts, and some are heartwarming, some are funny, some are long, some they're short, historical, whatever. They all have these. It's just like a thing they do on Tuesday nights at this bar.
Okay.
And so I never was the type of guy to like have a memorized toast to give. You and Dave, brought up the one before, to America, whether she's right or wrong, to America. Mm-hmm. And that's a great one. When you guys first said that, I was like, whether she's wrong? And then as I thought about it more, because I disagreed with it first, as I think about it more, even if America does wrong, it's usually the politicians doing so. It's not the idea of America. It's not my country. It's, the SOB who decided to do whatever thing I disagree with or something that's wrong. But that's not America. That's just the person who happened to be in charge at that time. So America first, right? Well, God first, America second. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I look at that toast that you gave. That's how I would look at it now. The ideal, I guess it would be, of America.
Right.
Yeah. But toasts are fun. I gave a toast after my dad's funeral. We're all going to drink Chivas Regal, which was his scotch. And
12-year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We can put that on the show.
I don't care for it at all. It's gross to me, actually.
We'll make it a short.
Yeah. But he enjoyed it. He liked it because it was sweet. It's very sweet. And I don't think he could taste much else besides sweet on his palate at the end of his life. But yeah, we're all standing around. We're going to drink shit. And my mom turns to me. There's all of her and my father's friends, all of my siblings, all my uncles, aunts, everybody's in the room. And she's like, Matt, can you give a toast to Dad? And I was like,
no pressure.
What? And so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, to John, a great man, a proud veteran, and a great father. And that was it. That's all I said.
And that's all you had to say.
That's it. Even though maybe I didn't agree with some of it, but I know that's what needed to be said at the time. So, yeah, that was okay.
Can you remember the toast that was given at your wedding?
There was no toast given at my wedding. I got married at courthouse.
I can't remember.
No.
And if I asked Dave, hey, what was the toast you gave at my wedding? He would have no clue. He doesn't even know what was taking place at our wedding reception.
Oh, it was one of those kind of receptions.
He only knows based on seeing pictures.
That's a good party.
He has no recollection whatsoever of our wedding reception.
So he had a good time.
We have a photo of while we're at the food line. Gail and I are getting our food, and he is in the background of the picture as he reaches through, and he's handcuffing me and Gail together with handcuffs. He goes, I don't remember doing that. He said, I remember taking you to your hotel.
Where did he get handcuffs from?
He has no recollection whatsoever.
Wow. Fun times, man. Good memories, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, from both of my weddings. The first one was at St. Charles County Courthouse.
Okay.
And the second one was in a historic square in Savannah.
Do you remember the judge who wedded you in St. Charles County?
No.
Okay.
I can't even picture his face right now.
Gotcha.
But I do remember my second marriage. Because it wasn't that long ago. But also it was special, man. It was fun.
It's not your second marriage. It is the marriage.
It's my last marriage. I'll tell you that for sure. I know that's a fact.
I'm with you on that one. One and done.
Good. God bless it. Yeah. So what would Frank? They always had a toast. It doesn't matter what the toast is. Somebody better bring it.
Mm-hmm.
A toast,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're like, here's to this whiskey we're drinking right now.
Exactly. It didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
You better have a toast.
Just recognize the moment. You think that's what it was? Like,
Yes.
let's recognize this moment because one day it's going to be gone.
And you know what? I don't know. Maybe because of the way Frank Sinatra was, even if he was not the one giving the toast, if he was, it was a chance to put the spotlight on somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know.
Yeah, and with that group, there's a lot of strong personalities, but he was definitely the strongest.
He was the leader.
Yeah, and so maybe he wanted maybe a couple reasons. He didn't feel like being in the spotlight that night. Let somebody else do it, or maybe he felt like, yeah, I'm the most popular, the richest, the most famous out of this whole group, but as we sit at this table, we're all equals.
Mm-hmm. And he did not ever carry the wad of cash. It was his buddies who had it. And he would say, something like, there was an episode of a waiter at one of his normal haunts who accidentally dropped some of the glasses that were empty.
Yeah.
Dropped them. And the owner was so embarrassed by what happened, he fired the man on the spot. And Frank Sinatra immediately called the owner over to him and said, I want to order 1,000 of these glasses. And the owner brought 1,000 glasses out to him. And then he looked at the waiter who just got fired and said, I want you to throw every single one on the floor. And he broke every single one of them. And then the owner, Frank Sinatra said, when I come back here, I want him here. He's my server. And the owner said, he's the best guy we have. I love this guy.
Yeah.
And that's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, but as the owner of the company, well, first of all, it's stupid to fire somebody for breaking a glass.
Yeah.
Like he's an idiot. He should have never done that. But also, like, you should be like, this is my club, man. I'll fire whoever I want.
Right.
I don't care if you, but I could see
Frank Sinatra had the persona and he
was all for the little guy. He
was very much so.
He was one of the main people who helped desegregate Las Vegas.
Yes.
And he always refused to play in a club that was segregated, that would not allow black patrons in it. He would not play those clubs.
Right, where they were at the Sands,
yeah,
which was their main casino where they stayed at. They originally would not allow Sammy Davis Jr., who was black, into the hotel. And he said, we're all leaving if you don't allow him in there. And they did.
Well, good for him. Yeah, good for him. He, the thing about Frank Sinatra is that he had his principles, whether you agree with him or not, and he stood on those principles.
He did.
Period. Even if you called your aunt a fat pig.
Right.
I wonder if she was even fat. I wonder if she was just like a normal teenage girl, and that was his way of
She probably was.
just probably fat. You think?
No, I don't think she was.
Normal girl.
But remember, she wasn't the only one there.
But she's not a Hollywood starlet that's starving herself to death.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm in my head. I'm imagining the scene.
I have too, and I think it's funny.
The only thing it would have made, but like if he would have flicked a cigarette at him or something, like, can't wait, you fat man.
Right. And I don't recall him being a smoker.
He was not. Yeah. No. Are you sure?
I don't recall him being a smoker.
Dean Martin definitely was, right?
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing. Dean Martin always played drunk.
Yeah,
he was well known.
Yeah, he pretended to be drunk, right?
Always a pretend. He actually wasn't. There was one instance specifically in the book in which they mention a party at Dean Martin's house, and the police showed up. And the police showed up because there was a complaint from a neighbor about the loud noises going on here overnight, late into the night. And Frank Sinatra meets the police, and like, okay, we'll take care of it, blah blah blah, and they leave, and it goes to the bedroom of Dean Martin's home, and Dean Martin is in his pajamas, and he's in bed, and he's like, "What's up?" And Dean Martin goes, "Yeah, I was the one who called the police because I need to go to bed."
Instead of just calling Frank and saying, "Hey man, keep it down," he called the cops.
He's like, "I got a life to live."
So I looked it up. Yes, Frank Sinatra was a well-known smoker.
Okay.
Camel Unfiltered. You brought that up, didn't you, earlier in the show?
Yeah, it's my dad.
Yeah. Camel Unfiltered cigarettes endorse brands like Chesterfield and Lucky Strike, often photographed with a cigarette, which was a key part of his old blue eyes persona. Well, maybe it was just a persona. I wonder if the photographs, was the cigarette ever lit?
Oh, you're right. Oh, thanks for saying that, because you're right. He never inhaled.
Yeah, I wonder if it was just an unlit
He smoked,
cigarette.
but was not an inhaler.
Oh.
So he would like take a draw and just blow it out, and he wouldn't inhale it.
Singers who smoke, like a lot of guys, like they want to protect their throat and their lungs and everything, so they could, have a longer singing career or whatever.
Well, if anybody listened to Frank Sinatra early in the 40s, he was nuts. Like, if anybody watched old Bugs Bunny cartoons and stuff like that, you see like this person who looks like Frank Sinatra singing.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh," and they're fainting. That's real. And that was his voice.
Yeah.
However, in the 50s, his voice broke.
Oh.
And he was in a severe depression with that. But he was able to overcome that and just take his voice for what it was and continue moving on. He's best known for the song New York, New York, of course. And he never got tired of singing that song.
His first commercial recording, From the Bottom of My Heart, Dean Martin recorded it. Weird. Yeah, there's no Frank Sinatra on here on Spotify. But, so Frank was, you have the mugshot. Have you ever seen his mugshot as a young man? That he was arrested for adultery. That was him for having relations with a married woman. So he was definitely a known womanizer. Had a lot of
not
affairs, throughout his time. During World War II, he was, what do they call it? Labeled as 4F or categorized 4F, like unfit for the draft, because they said he was, he had a perforated eardrum and chronic mastoiditis. I don't know what that is.
What's mastoiditis? Afraid of elevators?
Psychologically not acceptable material. Stated to be, quote, run down, undernourished, and fearful of crowds and elevators. So, which is very strange to me because, I don't know why they would ask those questions. Are you afraid of elevators? To go.
Yeah, how's that come out?
Be in the Army?
Did they have elevators? Oh, yeah, that's right. Back in then, they had someone who actually stood in the elevator.
Yeah, they had
well, because you mentioned it, I did actually look up the status, whether or not the rest of the Rat Pack was a veteran or not. So Dean Martin, he was an Army veteran during World War II.
Yeah?
He served for 14 months, and then he was declared 4F for a hernia.
Oh, no.
Peter Lawford.
Oh, you can't help but get a hernia.
He had, as a young man, he had a severe left arm and hand injury, so he could not serve. But his father was a retired lieutenant general from the British Army.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he decided to go into acting instead, and then he had this giant inheritance he would have got from one of his aunts over there in Britain. The landed gentry and all that weird stuff over there. Yeah. And she took him off her will.
Whoa.
When he decided to be an actor.
Oh, because it's not gentlemanly enough?
Yes, I guess.
He didn't go to Oxford?
I guess. Joey Bishop, he was in the Army. He served in the Special Services, which at the time of World War II, Special Services was not the, what we would think Green Beret
OSS.
type. Yeah. It was the entertainment group.
Okay.
So he served in the special services at Fort Sam Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Sammy Davis Jr., he was also an Army veteran in World War II, and he had such severe racism
Yeah, dude.
against him that because he served in probably one of the first units in which it was integrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in World War II, and the racism was so bad.
I didn't think they integrated until the Korean War.
Korean War. Yeah, it may have been Korean War.
Okay.
I didn't go in that far. They ended up transferring over to the special force or the special services group and become, a performer.
Did I ever tell you about my grandpa's experience in World War II? Fought in the Pacific from Australia all the way to the occupation, but he was a draftee. And when it came to every Friday was payday, I guess once a month. I don't know if they put him weekly or monthly. I'm guessing monthly.
Mm-hmm.
But they would line up, and it would be the volunteer soldiers first. They would all get paid first. Then the draftees got paid. And then after them was the black soldiers got paid. Whether they volunteered or were drafted. I don't know if they even drafted black soldiers then, did they? I've never looked into that.
You know what? I don't know.
I need to make
That's
a note
a good
to
question,
look into
actually.
But so, and he would, and I asked him one time, I was like, why did the black soldiers get paid last? He's like, well, they were just a lower class soldier than us. And I was like, whoa. But, they weren't even allowed to fight on the front lines. In the Pacific anyway. Europe, I think there was some black units that in Europe that were on the front line.
There was a tank unit that was personally decorated by General Patton.
There was
out of the Third Army.
World War One. You had the famous black unit that was.
Well, you also have the Tuskegee Airmen. The P-51 pilots that protected the B-17 guys.
Yeah. So he would say, I asked him like, well, what did the black soldiers do? Why were they different? And he said, well, they were just ammo. They would unload the ships and carry the food and ammo on the shore and then up the beaches. And they were like supply and support. And I was like,
yeah.
As I got older, I was like, dang, man.
As truck drivers, they were best known for spearheading the Red Ball Express, which was there were no ports available in Europe to unload supplies.
Yeah.
So everything had to come from the Normandy beachhead.
Right.
So they had these long convoys of truck drivers that would just drive and come back, drive and come back.
Think of the combat power that you're missing out on. Like you would have guys, I think about like Saving Private Ryan. You had Private Upham, the clerk.
Yes.
That they were like, well, go with the Rangers and do this mission. And like, there was probably hundreds of black soldiers that would have been well better suited for that position.
There was a all-black female unit in Britain, the Triple Nickel.
Yeah. No,
right?
Not Triple Nickel. They were the male.
They were not the Triple Nickel, but
right.
I'm pretty close.
Okay.
On that, and they were a mail.
Yeah.
Like post office.
Basically, the only reason why soldiers were able to get packages in mail.
And they just got recently awarded a Presidential Medal.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
For their service.
That's good. There was a movie that came out about them recently.
Man, what was it? The Triple Nickel was a black unit.
Yes.
The 555th Infantry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
still a unit today, I think, in Fort Lewis.
I think so.
Yep. It's part of I-Corps for Fort Lewis. But yeah, that's interesting. But Frank Sinatra did do USO tours, and he did what he could. And there was a lot of instances of those at World War II where guys were getting denied service. I mean, Audie Murphy tried to join the Marine Corps, and he was too short, underweight. He volunteered for the Airborne, too short, too small, whatever. Finally got to the 3rd Infantry Division, and look at that. Look what happened, So there's a lot of that, guys who were 4F and couldn't serve, even though they wanted to.
So I will tell you overall, this book, The Way You Wear Your Hat, is actually pretty interesting. It's a good read. It's worth reading, I think, just to kind of get a picture of what it was like in the 60s and to understand the background of Frank Sinatra and not his public persona, but what was it like behind the scenes, what he was doing, him and the people he hung around with.
Would you recommend this as a guidebook on how to operate as a man in 2026?
No, I would not. However, I would recommend it as a man in 2026 to read it.
Yeah.
To kind of get an understanding of what manhood's like. What is manhood?
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings on it, in that
there's certain foundational principles.
Yes.
That you could probably see in this book that apply today. And
good point.
Of like integrity and knowing who you are.
Loyalty.
I go back to the Army values all the time. When I was a young soldier, the Army came out with this Army values card that we had to carry around with us all the time. And then there was a dog tag that we had to wear. But it was the acronym leadership: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. You could apply that to your life if you've never served in the military. All of those things are great foundational blocks to set up and then build upon that.
Sure.
And that's definitely in the Army. As a drill sergeant, we learn we're here to educate and inculcate. Those are two things that we're doing. We're going to teach you the basics of rifle marksmanship. We're going to inculcate the Army values into you.
How would you put that in the civilian world? Someone who has never been in the Army, doesn't intend to be in the Army. Someone who is trying to get their life going. How would you tell them that?
It's really hard to apply military training to civilian life, because in the military you've basically sacrificed your life. You've told them they own you. Your life.
Can you do that as a civilian?
You can, voluntarily. If you say, first you have to do a lot of introspection and self-reflection of like, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Where am I lacking? Where am I strong? That type of thing. You have to start there, of doing an evaluation of yourself. And you have to be brutally honest about it. And you're the only one who can do that for yourself.
So if you don't know what you're doing yet, you don't know where you want to go.
Yeah.
But you have to do something. Are you someone who would say, I don't care what you do, go get a freaking job.
Yes.
And work.
Yeah.
And then
be the best at it.
Right. And then as you're doing it, figure yourself out and move to where you think you need to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have, like, who cares? Like, it doesn't, a lot of people like to make fun of McDonald's, the McJob, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, are you kidding me? You're in the service, you're serving people, right? But you're also a part of one of the most successful organizations in human history. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to realize what you're a part of. And if you apply those principles of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage to flipping burgers, which I don't know why people look down upon that for some reason. I don't know if it's kind of like a joke maybe, but if you could apply those, dude, McDonald's will meet you where you're at, and you can get a college degree through McDonald's.
Yep. It might do it today. I know in the 80s, I'm dating myself, right?
Yeah.
In the 80s, if you had a resume and you said on your resume that you worked at McDonald's and you were this, you actually got moved to the top of the list.
It's probably the same as Chick-fil-A today, where you were like, I worked since I was 16 till I graduated college at Chick-fil-A. People are like, whoa.
Yeah, you got moved to the top of the list.
Yeah. That's impressive. But yeah, even if you're, I don't know what, mowing grass. If you have a lawnmower and you're going around cutting grass, if you apply those basic foundational principles to your customers that you're serving, I guarantee you're going to have too much grass to cut.
Funny thing, 1985, I was 15, and I made flyers, handwritten flyers, in which I put in people's mailboxes in my subdivision, that I would cut grass for them. and on it I put $4.
Oh my gosh.
Now, so this is 1985.
Even at 85, you were
$4
undercutting.
because most people were charging $10.
Yeah.
I put $4. Well, I got a lot of phone calls. I cut a lot of grass that summer.
Man, how much was gas? Like, it was probably
Gas was cheap. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it was what,
what were
30
your
cents?
margins? And yeah, so what, it holds like half a gallon.
I was
in gas?
15. I didn't count my time because my
Right.
time is my time,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I made good money at the
Yeah,
time
Dan-
because I think minimum wage at that time was $4.25, $4.25.
Yeah. That's
So,
good, dude.
yeah.
One of the greatest, probably the greatest amateur wrestler in American history, Dan Gable. He cut grass for free. He would go around to his neighbors and he would wear a sweater. His mom knitted him a sweater with lead weights knitted into it, so it was heavy. And so he would use that to cut weight. And he would go cut grass for free just because he wanted to be the best wrestler of all time.
Wow.
And he would just spend all day pushing a mower. And that was back in the day when it was what do they call those mowers? You had to like push it to get it to cut.
Yes.
Man-powered mower.
What?
Like there was no gas engine on that thing.
That's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of like how NASCAR drivers used to prepare for brutal summer heat when it came to racing.
Mm-hmm.
Because nowadays they have pressurized suits and they're air
Yeah.
conditioned. They got the little hose
It's
and
still
all that.
hot as hell.
But at the time, back in the 80s, yeah, I would say the 80s and 90s because that's how I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I don't remember the race car driver specifically anymore, but he used to drive with the windows up in his NASCAR outfit, his driver's suit, with the heater on full blast
Oh, dang.
in Atlanta, Georgia, in the middle of summer, and just drive around town.
Just to get acclimated to the
Acclimated to the extreme heat of trying to drive through a NASCAR race. You know,
Wow.
right now they have heats. So when you say, oh, we're going to do the Daytona 500, it's not 500 laps anymore. It's like 200 laps, we're going to stop, 200 laps, we're going to
Yeah,
stop.
that's weird.
It's stupid. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about NASCAR today.
I went to one NASCAR race in my life, and it was at Darlington Speedway in South Carolina. Fell asleep probably 20 laps in.
What? I went to Martinsville in Virginia, and it was only 70 degrees, clear
Oh.
skies,
Oh, this was in the middle of summer.
and it was the summer,
Yeah,
but it was 70 degrees and
nice.
clear skies, and the sun beat on me so bad I had blisters all over my forehead,
Oh, dude.
stuff like that. And anyway,
Yeah.
this was a good topic.
Fun.
How would you rate this Jack Daniel's number 7 overall?
So when I first tasted it neat, I would say 3.
Okay.
Pretty good. Not bad. For Frank Sinatra's recipe, 1. But as the conversation has gone on, and we're having a good time, and I'm slowly drinking the drink, I could see how this would definitely be a great thing to have if you plan on having a long night. If we were shooting pool, playing some cards, doing whatever, and we want to have some long conversation and enjoy the company and not end up in fist fights and stuff, I could see the appeal to this if you get the ratio right. So I think I'm gonna stick with 3. Jack Daniel's number 7 is a great American whiskey. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's good to drink, man.
It's kind of like the standard, right?
Yeah, it's a cool bottle. When you look at it, it's iconic. It's a cool label, black and white. Nice shape to the bottle. They distill their own spirit, which I truly appreciate. And 3 solid stars.
Okay.
Almost 4.
It's a little comical when I put this particular bottle, it's 750 milliliters.
Yeah.
And if I put it next to other bottles, it's so small.
Yeah,
I'm going,
it looks really
how
small.
is it that it's 750 milliliters?
Yeah, but it's square all the way, like 2/3 of the way up.
I'm with you. I'm going to
Yeah.
give it a solid 3 stars.
Yeah, okay.
And I, at the same time, I like the fact if I can get the ice right, and I'm going to do this tonight when I get home because I know we have bigger cubes. I have bigger cubes at home.
Well, how would you feel about one of those big ice balls? To me, they're a little annoying because they get in the way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because I have the big squares at home.
oh, okay.
So it would be very similar, but I also have just a normal ice tray with large cubes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try that when I get home tonight and put them in there and mix it. Because when I added the 10 cubes you had
Yeah.
and
These are
mixed it the way it
refrigerator
was,
made. These are like the freezer on my refrigerator makes these.
it was actually pretty good. I'm with you. I could drink all night. I'm going, no wonder people are having a good time.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a Frank Sinatra thing. He wanted to see people drunk, but not like drunk falling over themselves.
Tipsy, not drunk.
Yes, because he could see how you really were,
No, yeah.
the real
A
person.
little bit of truth serum, huh?
Yes.
Mm.
And he liked that. He wanted people to be that way.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll give it a solid 3 stars as well. I have a funny story.
All right.
So when Dave and I were going through the whiskey challenge at the Rack House, Jack Daniels was one of the things on the list.
Okay.
And so we hit the time when it was time to drink it. It was on that number, 1 to 100.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was like number 70, something like that.
It wasn't number 7? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, they didn't match it up that way. They weren't that smart. So Dave looks at the bartender and he goes, for the next order, he says, hey, I want to get Jack Daniels Black Label.
What?
And the bartender is, he's got 100 different bourbons back there. And he's back there going, looking all at Jack Daniels. I can't find the Black Label anywhere. Where's the Black Label? There is no Black Label. Where's Jack Daniels Black Label? And me and Dave were just cracking up.
So he's thinking like Johnny Walker.
Yeah, and finally
labels,
Dave
right?
says, hey, it's your normal Jack
It's just Jack Daniels, bro. Chill out.
And I went, oh.
So he was operating on such a high level, just regular Jack Daniels blew his mind.
Yeah, it was so funny. When you just used the term Black Label, like, oh, there's got to be a special Jack
one.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Where is it?
This is top shelf. I got to look all the way up the top shelf here.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah, so I'll give it 3 stars.
All right. One last thing I want to say about Frank Sinatra. He had an instance where his son was kidnapped. And he had to run from payphone to payphone to make calls, like this ransom call, whatever it was. And when he died and was buried, he was buried with 10 dimes in his pocket and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Wow.
That was I don't know if that's what he wanted to be. I know the 10 dimes he always kept 10 dimes in his pocket.
What was the 10 dimes for?
For the payphones.
Okay.
Because he had to run from payphone to payphone to keep calling this number to save his son's life.
For those of you who don't know even what a payphone is.
Well, that's where the term dropping a dime on somebody comes from. Mm-hmm. You would put a dime in a payphone and call the cops and rat them out. If you're one of those type of people, then you're dropping a dime. I think I learned that in the Army. Like, he dropping a dime. I heard that one in the Army.
Yeah, he did the dime drop.
Yeah.
By the way, there is one place that still has all those phones.
Oh, yeah?
And the private phone booth.
A private phone booth?
Yep. If you ever make it to San Antonio,
mm-hmm.
You got the Alamo.
Yeah.
Right behind the Alamo, no one ever pays attention, but right behind the Alamo is a hotel.
Uh-huh.
And in that hotel, they have the original phone booths still.
Wow.
And you can go in there, close the door, and talk.
Oh, wow.
To somebody.
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And that's where the Rough Riders formed.
Oh, San Antonio?
Yeah, in San Antonio. This
Mm-hmm.
was the hotel, the Menger Hotel.
Oh.
is where the Rough Riders, that's where they formed. That's where Teddy Roosevelt,
Well, that's on my list of
Pershing,
places to visit now.
all there. And it's a beautiful, and they still have the original, the bar is still original to the way it was in 1898.
Whoa. That's to me, I mean, holy moly, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I only bring that up because today's the 14th, so happy on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Tomorrow is the anniversary of the explosion of the USS Maine battleship.
Notice you said explosion, not attack.
Right, explosion in Havana Harbor of Cuba that led to the Spanish-American War of 1898.
Yeah. Which a lot of people they don't fully appreciate how large of a scale that war was.
Big war.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of credit on the Navy side to Teddy Roosevelt prior to the war breaking out.
Yeah.
Because he was the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. And when he took over as Assistant Secretary, the actual Secretary of the Navy would be out on, vacation or recuperating. And
recuperating from
he
vacation.
Would keep sending messages to him saying, everything's all right, it's all calm, you can go live your life, whatever. In the meantime, Roosevelt is sending out memorandum after memorandum, directive after directive, order after order to all the Navy. And he actually set up, everything was set up on a wartime posture.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though we weren't at war.
Deployed,
nothing was happening.
Right.
But then the war happened, and the U.S. Navy was prepared. And so we rolled into the Philippines, into Subic Bay, and wiped out the Spanish fleet. And I think we lost 4 people out of the entire fleet.
Which was pretty crazy.
Took out the entire Spanish fleet and conquered the Philippines. Conquered Cuba. That was the charge of San Juan Hill.
Yep.
With Teddy Roosevelt. So, I mean, that was a big deal. That was a big war.
It is. What other historical events did we have? We had a couple more, didn't you?
Other than that, today is Valentine's Day, and we had, back in 1929, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah, that was the guys in the barbershop. Were they in a barbershop getting their haircut and shave? And
I don't think, no, they weren't in a barbershop.
A restaurant?
It was a warehouse.
Or a movie theater?
It was a warehouse.
Was it a warehouse?
Yeah. And it was 7 members of Chicago's North Side Gang were gunned down. They were lined up against the wall and shot.
Oh, okay.
And it was Bugs Moran was in charge of the North Side Gang of Chicago. Al Capone was in charge of the South. And it was his group that did it. And it was mostly Thompson submachine guns that were used, and 1 shotgun.
Okay.
And what came out of that, the St. Valentine's Massacre. Oh, okay, yeah. One guy lived and then died later. Everybody else died out of that group right away. But it did lead to the very first gun control law here in the United States.
Great.
And it was the National Firearms Act of 1934.
And that was the banning of fully automatic rifles or high-capacity magazines or something like that?
Pistols was one of them on the list, and then they ended up removing the pistols off the list a couple years later.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was the start of our Second Amendment infringement.
Well, I think Woodrow Wilson started it, but anyway, that'll be another conspiracy show. We'll talk about the Woodrow Wilson connection to everything.
I do have something I do want to bring up from the Bible.
Okay.
I did not know this until yesterday. Did you know that men will go to heaven before women?
No, I didn't know that.
If you read Revelation chapter 8, what?
No, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 8, verse 1.
Yeah.
This is from the New International Version.
I'm trying not to, dude. Go ahead. I
can't look at you. When he opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour.
Yeah. It's in the Bible, so you can't hate us for it.
We had 30 minutes apiece.
Thank you, Lord.
I do have one thing I do want to bring up.
All right.
So, the Super Bowl was what, last weekend?
Yes.
If anybody remembers, there was this little commercial from Amazon about the Ring cameras.
Yeah.
And
I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I did see the commercial.
Oh, somebody
later.
lost a dog.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they put the picture up, and you have what was called the search party. Yeah. It was all of your Ring cameras in the neighborhood suddenly got activated and are trying to find the dog, right?
Right.
And that got a lot of pushback because nobody realized that what they thought was a private security system was somehow linked into this big network in which everybody's connected.
To me, the most amazing part of that story is the fact that people had no idea that a third party could activate cameras and look at, they record everything.
Well, did you know that? You had Ring cameras.
I had them, plural, past tense.
But did you know that?
I did know that, and they were already installed on the last home I owned and this home here. And I was like, okay, they're already looking at my cell phone. They can listen to me talk through my smart TV. They can listen to me. Look, I don't want to go too deep into this because I have knowledge of other stuff, but there is no privacy anymore. Zero. You could think you can get rid of your Ring camera. You don't have privacy. You can put a piece of tape over the webcam on your laptop. You still don't have privacy. You can get rid of your cell phone. You still don't have privacy. Those days are gone. When you drive your vehicle down the street, guess what? You're being recorded at all times by your government through the flock cameras and your intersection cameras and security camera that's on the store that you just drove past. There is no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
And this Ring camera deal, because they came out with this neighborhood watch thing, they went public with it, that they just activate. Then they said, oh, we're going to partner with Flock.
Oh, yeah. Who's Flock?
Flock is a surveillance state tool, basically.
For the police department.
For the police department, where everything goes to your one centralized, they call it a, you know what? We should do a whole show on this, actually, I could do a whole entire 2 hours on this subject, but you have a center of where your law enforcement has one single hub where they connect. They're all connected with all the federal agencies and the federal government, and all of those camera feeds go to one location, and they say, well, we don't save any data. We just use it in case there's an incident. We can look and see. They save all your data, right? There's a reason why there's these massive data centers being built everywhere. They have to save it somewhere.
Yeah, because there's another thing called Nest. Nest is the Google version.
Google one, yeah.
And if you have no subscription for Nest,
right,
your data only lasts for 3 to 6 hours, then it goes away.
That's a lie.
It is, because in the user agreement, it does say that they do hold on to the material. So you have this
forever.
You have this national thing right now in the news with Nancy Guthrie or whoever she is. I don't know, the mom of some.
I wouldn't have known who she was unless my wife said, told me about it.
I'm not sure why this is such newsworthy info.
Because the Epstein files got released.
I guess,
and they need to distract the idiots from what's really happening.
But this was a good example, because if you did not subscribe to Nest and all this video data goes away, then it should just go away. And, well, the FBI was somehow able to find video of the kidnappers
Yeah.
that were days earlier that should have been deleted.
Right.
Okay, people, what we're telling you is you get these cameras on your phone, or you put the Ring things or the cameras inside your home because you won't watch your cat when you're at work and all that. All that is getting recorded.
Yep.
All of it is getting saved, and it's all going into a massive database that the government can get into to come to your home for something.
Right.
And they have the right to do it based on what they say.
And so, like, let's say you're doing something in the privacy of your own home that you think could never be used against you in any sort of circumstances. But if somebody in the government says, oh, I don't want this person to be mayor or governor or senator or whatever, guess what's going to be released next?
Mm-hmm.
Some video of you dancing the cha-cha butt naked in your kitchen while you're making pancakes. Like something crazy.
Right. You have to ask yourself, do you want liberty and freedom or do you want security?
You can't have both.
No.
Freedom is dangerous.
Very much.
Freedom is dangerous. And
ever since our founding, our founding fathers said it.
Yes. What did they say about the Tree of Liberty again? Maybe we won't go down that road. But
not today.
No. But I'll say this. So I was in the intelligence world pre 9/11 and post 9/11 and during 9/11. And I learned a lot of stuff at that time. I learned a lot about the capabilities of not only the capabilities of our government, but their willingness to use their capabilities to their advantage. That's what I learned. And it was a very short period of time that I was involved in that. Yep. I will say that the technology that you know about today is about 30 plus years old. So imagine what they actually have today, what they're actually using.
All you have to do is look at the capture of Maduro in Venezuela.
Yeah. And think of what they didn't tell us about that.
Yes. But, the result of that one commercial in the Super Bowl aroused enough from the public.
They broke,
that Amazon decided and declined the merger of Ring with Flock.
Yeah.
Now,
Flock is evil. I'm going to tell you right now.
But let me tell you, so they declined it. Do you think Amazon is still honoring that and getting rid of all your Ring data? Nope.
No.
They're still holding on to it.
Do you know why? Do you know why they're going to still hold on to it? Because if they didn't, the government would crush them. Mm-hmm. The government would shut Amazon down. That's what would happen. Period.
Well, something's going on with Amazon because they were at $230 a share, and they're less than $200 this week.
Well, it was probably the Flock stuff.
Could be.
And the AI junk. And I plan to go to my HOA in my neighborhood. We have a HOA. I haven't paid any dues yet since I've lived here. But and I'm going to try to get it passed on the bylaws to outlaw Ring and Nest cameras in this neighborhood. Because I don't want to be...
Or the search party concept?
All of it. I want to get rid of all of it. No cameras on your doorbells, nothing. Unless they're wired into a central server in your own home. Which you can do. You can buy wired cameras and have a DVR in your house and record all the stuff you want and keep it for yourself and have a security system that goes to your phone. There's ways to do it without relying on basically overlords.
Everybody knows where you walk.
Everything.
Every single intersection with the stoplight has a camera.
Yeah. When you use a debit card, they know what you buy. They know where you're at when you bought it, what time of day, everything.
Yes.
It's just, well,
anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the right thing to say. Enjoy your life. Live today at its fullest.
For tomorrow you will die.
That's right. Love your friends.
Memento mori.
Memento mori, buddy.
Anyway,
Eat that cake. Matt. Eat that pizza. Enjoy it.
I know you said at the beginning, you kind of gave everybody a heads up, but you can find us.
Mm-hmm.
We are known as the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, and you can find us on Facebook at the Headspace and Tasting Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at the Headspace and Tasting Podcast. Instagram, we're there too.
Are we?
Supposedly. I don't know.
Who's running that?
Not me.
Put Sam on it.
I don't know if it's automatic or not. But definitely Facebook and YouTube. And you can also email us at showmemk@gmail.com.
Please.
Got something to say? Let us know. You don't like what we're talking about? Let us know.
If you want to be a guest,
let us know that
we're looking
too.
for guests, man. Just come on, tell your story.
Sure.
Men and women. You don't have to be just a man to come on the show. It's been fun, Kevin. This was a good one.
Yeah, I liked it.
Cheers to Frank and the dames.
The broads.
The broads. The broads in our lives. Happy on Valentine's Day to you. And that's it. We love y'all. Bye.
Peace out.